Hey there, I hope you're doing great. I've got a very unique Canadian pocket knife to show you this time around. This is a Grohmann Mini Russell Lockblade. And Grohmann Knives is a small cutlery company out of Nova Scotia, Canada. Here's its story. Shortly after World War II, around like 1949 or 1950, a man by the name of Rudolf Grohmann from Czechoslovakia immigrated to Nova Scotia with his family. He was a production manager over there at a knife factory, and he was brought over to work for Pictou Cutlery. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Pictou, Nova Scotia. It was a provincial government-funded cutlery. And he worked there for about 3 years, and then they went out of business for some reason. So here he was in Nova Scotia, Czech immigrant with his family. He was determined to keep making knives, so he set up his own workshop and began making his own knives. Shortly thereafter, he met a man by the name of Dean H. Russell, and together they designed a truly Canadian outdoors knife, the D.H. Russell belt knife #1. And it's just kind of gone on to become kind of the quintessential Canadian hunting knife. It won a design award in 1958, the year of my birth, and then they went on to design 3 more knives together. 3 more belt knives, the #2, the #3, and the #4. And I'll show you those in a minute because they included a catalog with the knife. But by 1961, the Grohmann family had set up their business as Grohmann Knives Limited, and it's been family owned and operated ever since. As I mentioned, it's a small company. I think they only have about 25 employees, but they turn out some really classic Canadian fixed blade and folding blade knives. This is Grohmann's outdoor catalog. It accompanied the knife, and I wanted to show you their original design. So this was the original #1 belt knife. It's become the iconic Canadian hunting, fishing, outdoors knife. Then they have some variations on the theme. #2, trout and bird. #3, boat, Canadian Army and yachtsman. And the #4, survival knife. These are all D.H. Russell designs. So they've got a lot of great fixed blades. As far as their folders, the original one was this #300S D.H. Russell Lockblade, and it's the larger size of what I'm getting ready to show you. So it was 5 inches in the closed position with a 3 3/4 inch blade. And then the one that I have is just a downsized version of that. It's the R340S Mini Russell Lockblade. It's 4 inches in the closed position with a 3-inch blade. The large one comes in a variety of handle materials. You've got stag, micarta, like a diamond type of wood, and rosewood. The smaller version only comes in the rosewood, and they both only come in their high carbon stainless steel. So here's some other folders here. Here's a folding hunter. It looks a lot like a buck with a drop point blade. Drop point lockable hunter. They do have a smaller slip joint pocket knife. This is 3 3/4 inches. You can get it either in rosewood or stag. And then they have a little featherweight lock blade that has Zytel handles. So you can get that with a plain edge or serrated blade. So a lot of cool things in the catalog. You can tell it's a Canadian company. Here's their ulu if you need to process any seals. And here's a Grohmann snow knife if you need to build an igloo. I learned about these knives from Aaron at Bushcraft North of 60. I'll put a link to that channel and the excellent video he did where he visited the Grohmann factory and came away with several models that he reviewed for us. So thanks, Aaron. All right, so let's take a look at this great little knife. 4 inches in a closed position, so it's very pocket friendly. Here you can see this is in rosewood, beautiful pieces of rosewood. Grohmann describes this handle shape as a palm and finger fitting offset. So I guess here what they're talking about is a palm swell, dished in place here for your fingers, offset, so it makes for a very nice grip. I'll show you that here in a minute when the blade's open. Nickel silver bolster, nickel silver pins, and brass liners. It is a mid-back locking knife, and we'll look at the construction of it here in a minute as well. The blade is in high carbon steel. They don't really, stainless steel, they don't really specify what type. It is a very unique elliptical shape. It's kind of a drop point, I guess, with a very heavy swedge because it is a very thick blade. So about 1/8 of an inch thick. It's a saber with a hollow grind and a very generous nail nick, which I appreciate, and jimping here on the back. So with the shape of the handle and the shape of the blade, you do get an extremely secure grip on this knife. It just works, and your thumb can ride right up here on that jimping. Just in that grip right there, that is a very secure feeling little pocket knife. Here is the blade. It's not really a stamp. It's more of a laser etch. It reads Grohmann, Pictou, Nova Scotia, Pictou NS, Canada. On this side, you'll see that there is an S lightly stamped in the tang, and that means this knife is a factory second. So this knife, brand new, is $90 US. But Grohmann makes factory seconds available on their webpage, and if you want to buy a knife that's a little less than perfect without their lifetime warranty, you can get it for 50% off. So as a factory second, this would be a $45 knife. Now, depending on where you live, shipping from Canada can probably easily be half of that, but it's a great deal. Now, on their website, they say the imperfections are usually with the handle, and in my limited experience, that's been true. I gave one of these as a gift last year for Christmas. It was a factory second. It had a problem with the handle. I received this one as a gift this Christmas, and if I can find any flaws with it, it would be with the handle, so we'll talk about that in a second. But the blade is, to me, perfect. It's got an extremely sharp point. It's got a really great edge on it. Now, I do seem to be getting a little bit of blade wrap from closing it, so I'm going to have to learn to close it quietly because it obviously is hitting the spring down in here just a little bit. But the blade is great. Let me show you this. Look at that matchup between the spring and the tang of the blade. It almost looks like one piece of steel in there. So let me show you that up against a Buck Lock 532. See, Buck, that's how you do it. And here's a Case tribal lock. Case got a little better look to it, but man, you just can't beat that on the Grohmann. The lockup is very secure up and down. This knife does have a little bit of side-to-side blade play. Very minor. I think I can fix that with a couple of wraps with my cutler's hammer. But because it does have a little play, it seems a little loose to me. When you disengage the lock, it just kind of falls there. So I think I can snug that up just a little bit and still have some really good action. Now, as far as the flaws to the knife being a factory second, I want to be fair to Grohmann because this is a factory second and they sold it at half price. So this would not be typical of a full price knife. But the only really thing I could find was, and I'm having a hard time here seeing it through the camera, there's a little split here at this pin. So in putting this pin in and peening it out, the scale cracked right there. It's not bad at all, it's very tight. I can't see that that would ever create any problem. But more noticeable to me is that the covers come up a little shy of the liners. Let's see if we can. It's a little hard to see here, but I'll get the light right. Anyway, you can feel it. They stick up higher than the edge of the covers. So that just needs to be ground down, and I will do that. I'm actually going to grind that down on my Scotch-Brite wheel. I'll be able to come back and just kind of sand and polish the wood, and it'll be smooth together. But that's no big deal at all. And the rest of the build is just great. Here's the spring in the open position. It's absolutely flush, not proud or shy. Very tight across the back. That's good in the closed position as well. Blade centering is good. So the knife just needs a few touch-ups and it's going to be perfect. So that's been a look at a mini Russell Lockblade, a uniquely Canadian pocket knife. I just love the knife. It's built to be used, and I just know I'm going to love using it. Thanks for watching, and have fun collecting.